everyone, and welcome to this LyricLand video where we're doing the Listening Project.
If you've got ears on your head and your brain in between, you're ready for a little bit of listening.
Ning, 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 listening. My name is Mr. Linham, and today's video is exploring one of my absolute favourite albums. It was an album that actually my younger brother showed to me the first time I heard it, and I really thought it was truly, truly wonderful. It's an album by Frank Sinatra called Come Fly With Me. And this album has been around since the 1950s when it was recorded. Now, we're going to listen to the opening track of this album called Come Fly With Me. And as you listen to Come Fly With Me, I want you to think about three things. Firstly, I'd like you to think about all the different instruments that you can hear on this recording. And there are quite a few, so there's probably no wrong answers on this one, unless you're saying something rather strange. Secondly, I want you to describe the timbre or the tone of Frank Sinatra's voice. If you had to describe it, is it a bright or light or dark sound? Is it a rough or a smooth sound? Is it a clean sound or is it a dirty sound? Let's use those kinds of describing words to describe his voice. And finally, our third question is, does it make you feel like you're going on holiday? That's what the piece of music is set out to do. It's supposed to make us feel like, come, fly away. And when you listen to the lyrics, that might help you understand that musical idea. So you've got three things to think about. And before we do think about those things, as we listen to it, I'd like to also tell you that this is a concept album. Well, what is a concept album? A concept album is a collection of songs put together very deliberately in a certain order in order to give you a whole musical experience. Come Fly With Me is the opening track which sets up this concept album so as we really do get a sense of being on holiday. Well, hopefully we do. It's up to you to decide that. So, I'd like you to listen to the opening track of Frank Sinatra's Come Fly With Me, and I really hope you enjoy it, and hopefully it's very uplifting. So now you've listened to Come Fly With Me, let's work our way through the questions. So question one was, what instruments could you hear? Well, I'm sure you could hear lots and lots of instruments. If you said lots of string instruments like violins and cellos and things like that, you were definitely right. If you talked about trumpets and trombones, you were certainly right. If you said clarinets, you weren't quite right because those were saxophones playing. There's actually 5 saxophones, 4 trumpets, 4 trombones, and a full string section on this album. So a really interesting album. Not quite an orchestra, not quite a jazz band, kind of mixing the two different ensembles together. And that's what happened with a lot of music that is now considered to be called easy listening, though I've never liked the term easy listening personally. Our second question was, how do we describe the timbre of Frank Sinatra's voice? Now, the timbre of Frank Sinatra's voice could be described in lots of different ways. I think it's quite velvety, though that might not be the best description. If we think about a bright or a dark sound, it's certainly a brighter sound. If we think about a rough or a smooth sound, it's certainly smooth. And if we think about a clean or a dirty sound, well, it's certainly clean, isn't it? So we can describe the timbre or the tone of his voice in those ways. You could have come up with other amazing describing words as well also, but those are certainly my opposites for timbre that we typically use in our music lessons. And our final question was, well, did it make you feel like we're going on holiday? And certainly when I listen to it, it does make me imagine I'm sitting on an aeroplane, I'm going off somewhere really exciting and really exotic that's really different to where I would normally be in my everyday life. And I think that's the joy of music, isn't it? Music can take us and transport us to different places. When we listen to a piece of music, it might inspire us of the era when we're listening to classical music, imagining we're back in the old days of Mozart and Beethoven. Or it might inspire us to feel something, whether it makes us happier or sadder or angry or frightened. Whatever the music does, it has a power and an emotion to it that is really, really special. So I really hope that you enjoyed listening to Frank Sinatra sing today. He really is one of my favourite singers, even though in 2020, as it is now, he's really quite an old singer, but he really has such a powerful and special voice. I encourage you to listen to the rest of the album as well, because it really is full of fantastic music. Well, I hope you enjoyed the listening project this week, and I'll see you again for another episode where we'll be exploring another very different style of music. See you again very soon. Bye!
If you've got ears on your head and your brain in between, you're ready for a little bit of listening.
Ning, 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 listening.